Hi guys. Sorry, let me see if I can get this zoomed in here. There we go. Just want to say great job on your homework. Super proud of you. Looked really good. So today is actually our last section of chapter 10. Yay! So our objective is going to be to write equations of circles. And to graph circles. And so I think I'm just going to skip on down here. I don't know if you've seen this before, the standard equation of a circle, but we always call the center H comma K. I don't know why those letters, some mathematician back in the day picked those letters. The radius is R. And so just like, for example, we know that a line is y equals mx plus b, right? Or that's slope-intercept form, or it's ax plus by equals c. Oh, sorry, you can't really see that. You see that? So like how this is an equation of a line, today we're going to write in what the equation, standard form of an equation of a circle looks like. So this is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Okay, so if you come down here, it says write the equation of the circle. So in order to write the equation of a line, you know how we always needed m and b? Well, for a circle, you need your center and you need your radius. And if you have those two things, then you could always write the equation of a circle. So if I'm looking at this picture, I can see that the center is right here at 0, 0. And then to find your radius, just make sure you either count vertically or horizontally. So if you go out here to this point on a circle, that's 4 units. So my radius is 4. So if I'm using the equation from up above, it would be x minus 0 quantity squared plus y minus 0 quantity squared equals 4 squared. And since those are minus zeros inside of there, we would just go ahead and we would simplify that to x squared plus y squared equals 16. And this would be the equation of your circle. Okay, so let's try this other one. So right here they tell you the center is 3 comma negative 1. So I'm gonna look from this center up to here. So that looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this looks like the point 3, 4. And so my radius is going from negative 1 to positive 4. And that's gonna be 5 units of length there. So if I'm going back into this equation, I'm doing h minus 3 quantity squared plus y minus negative 1 quantity squared equals 5 squared. Oops. Don't forget about this minus and negative. So what happens to minus and negative? That becomes, I'm sorry, these are x's and y's. That's an x. Sorry, x minus 3 quantity squared plus, now this is going to become y plus 1 quantity squared equals 25. So final answer is x minus 3 quantity squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared equals 25. So that's writing the equation when you have a picture given to you. Okay, the next problem that we're going to look at is going to have us write the equation, no picture, but just some information here. So we know that this point right here is on the circle, and we know this is the center. So the good thing about this being the center is I can go ahead and go, okay, it's x minus negative 1 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared. But if you think about it, what are we missing? So I'm going to write the equation up here. So we're missing our r. We don't know our r, okay? But if this is the center of the circle and this point is on the circle, then we can find r. So the radius is going to be the distance between those 2 points. So remember, to find the distance between 2 points, you're going to subtract the x's. So negative 3 minus negative 1, square those, plus 4 minus 2 quantity squared. So that is going to be negative 2 quantity squared plus 2 quantity squared. And this is going to be the square root of 4 plus 4, which is the square root of 8. Don't worry about simplifying that for these purposes, because what do we do here to our radius? If you look right here, we square our radius. So what is square root of 8 squared? It's just going to be 8. And so our final answer is going to be x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 8. All right, if you look at the next one, it says write the equation of a circle whose diameter has these endpoints. These are points on the diameter. So in order to write the equation of a circle, you need two things. You need the center and you need the radius, right? Okay, well, how am I going to find the center if this is a diameter? So if you think about it, the center has to be the midpoint of these 2 points. So to find midpoint, if you remember, we add our x's, divide by 2, add our y's, and divide by 2. So the center of this circle is going to be 6 divided by 2, which is 3, comma 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So my center is going to be 3, 1. Now, my radius, there's two ways you could do this. You could find the length of this diameter and then divide it by 2. Or you could go, okay, here's your center. Here's a point on the circle, 1, 1, and you can do it how we just did it up above. You can just find the distance between those two. So 3 minus 1 quantity squared plus 1 minus 1 quantity squared. And that ends up being the square root of 2 squared plus 0 squared, which is the square root of 4, which is just 2. So my center of my circle is 3, 1. My radius is going to be 2. So when I go to write that equation, it's going to be x minus 3, the quantity squared, plus y minus 1, the quantity squared, equals your radius squared. 2 squared is 4. So my final equation of that circle looks like that. Okay, let's see, on this one right here, we have a center at -1, 1, and then to find the radius, again, you're gonna have to use the distance formula, so I'll just use, I'll use this point up here, sorry, that looks like that's the point 1, 4, and this is the point -1, 1. So I'm just going to do the distance between 1, 4 and -1, 1. So 1 minus -1 quantity squared plus 4 minus 1 quantity squared. So that's the square root of 2 squared plus 3 squared. So that's the square root of 4 plus 9, which is square root 13. So to write the equation, I go x minus -1 quantity squared plus y minus 1 squared equals square root of 13 squared. Again, don't worry about simplifying those radicals if you're just going to write the equation of the circle. So this becomes x plus 1 plus y minus 1 squared equals 13. That is writing the equation of a circle. Okay, for example 5, for some reason my numbers aren't on here, so it says the equation of the circle is given. Whoops, sorry about that. It's x minus 2 quantity squared plus y plus 3 quantity squared equals 16. So from that, I just need to find my center, which is 2, -3. You got to take the opposite of these numbers. Anytime you take a number out of parentheses in a function, you're pretty much going to be taking the opposite. And then my radius is going to be the square root of 16, which is going to be 4. So I go right 2, up 3. And then from here, you can just count up 4, right 4, left 4, and down 4 to get your circle. It's not going to be beautiful, but just get it as good as you can. Okay, so just kind of review this. To get your center, you take the opposite of these two. So that gave me +2, -3. You take the square root of that the r squared part, and that gives you 4. Plot the center, count right, left, up, and down the radius, and connect. I think I'm just going to do that one from this page. I'm trying to keep these videos not too terribly long. Okay, for completing the square here, we have complete the square to write the equation of a circle. So we have x squared plus y squared plus 2x plus 6y plus 6 equals 0. Now this might be something that you don't remember seeing, or you do complete the square to determine if, or that's one way, sorry, to solve a quadratic. So what you need to do here is you need to group your x's together. So x squared plus 2x, and then you're going to put a plus blank here because we're going to make this a perfect square trinomial. And then you put a plus y squared plus 6y plus blank equals, now any constant like this is going to need to be moved to the other side, so that's -6. So this is like the setup for completing the square. You want to have your x terms together with a blank, you want to have your y terms together with a blank, and all of your constants, whatever was there, moved to the other side. Oops, and I need 2 blanks over here because whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. Okay, so to fill in these blanks, you divide your middle term by 2, always, and then you square the result. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1. Divide your middle term by 2, that gives you 3. 3 squared is 9. Make sure these blanks match. Okay. Now, what some people don't realize, this is x squared plus 2x plus 1. These are going to be perfect square trinomials, which means if we factored them, okay, which you don't have to do every time, but if you did factor them, whatever you get here and here is going to be the same exact thing, same sign, everything. So how do I multiply to make 1 but add to make 2? That's going to be 1 and 1. So this is x plus 1 quantity squared equals, or sorry, plus, this is going to be y plus 3 quantity squared equals -6 plus 10, so that's going to be 4. So this is the equation of that circle. Okay, let's try one more of these because these are not necessarily the easiest. X squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 4y plus 12 equals 0. So again, group your x's together and put a blank. Group your y's together and put a blank. And then move your constant to the other side and put the 2 blanks. That part most people do okay with. It's right here. Well, actually, when you go to the factored form, they get a little confused. So divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So this is going to be x plus 3, the quantity squared. Divide by 2, that's -2. Square it, you get +4. So this is y minus 2, the quantity squared. Oops, I forgot to fill in my blanks over here. So -12 plus 9 plus 4 is going to be +1. And so this circle, just so you know, it would have the center would be -3, comma 2, and the radius would be 1. This one, the center would be -1, -3, and the radius would be 2. Any questions? If you have them, shoot me a message, shoot me an email. I could do a flip grid if I need to. I think I'm going to stop there. I think you guys might have a few more on here. So this next section just says graph the circle and the line, but I don't have my circle equations on here. So I think we have enough information to get through the homework with what I just completed. And I don't want to, like I said, I don't want this video to be too long. Keep doing great work. I'm super proud of you.